Hello everyone. You are listening to this audiobook on channel Voice for Purpose by NSS IT Bombay.
There's something about a guitar solo that can make an unremarkable song into a phenomena. And even non-musicians will usually have a favorite guitarist. Music is a vital part of our cultural expression, and perhaps no musical instrument has shaped the development of music through modern history as much as guitar. But what is the history of guitar itself? Let's have a look at this. Our modern word guitar probably comes from the ancient Greek word kithara, and doubtless string instruments existed prior to the recorded history. The two instruments that played the most significant part in the history of the guitar were European lute and an Arabic instrument called oud. The lute had a curved back and came in various shapes and sizes, and was often strummed with a quail feather. It was a popular instrument for hundreds of years and had passed from the Egyptians to Greeks, then to Romans, who introduced it throughout the Europe. Let's listen to its melodious sweet notes. When the Moors invaded southern Spain in 711 AD, they brought oud along. It shared common ancestry with the stringed instruments of Europe, and like the lute, it had a rounded body, though it lacked frets and a smaller neck. Both the Moorish instrument itself and Arabic style of playing left a significant mark on medieval music and ultimately the history of the guitar as well. Close your eyes and make your eardrums happy with this sweet melody. Guitars in the early 19th century looked almost similar to the modern guitars, just their size was small. They had a broadened body, waist curve, and thinned belly. There were some innovations which gave classical guitars their distinct voicing and thick heavy sound. Even today, 2 centuries after its invention, the flat top guitar continues to be the most popular form of acoustic guitar. It was developed by Christian Frederick Martin, a German-born American who made his first guitar. Martin created a X-braced guitar body that was able to handle the extra stress generated by the modern steel strings, which created too much tension for the Torch-style fan-raised Spanish guitars. The tight steel rings also resulted in a different style of playing, and that made the use of a pick. This fundamentally changed the type of music that could be made on steel stringed instruments, and the precise and delicate melodies of classical guitar were replaced by the brighter chord-driven music. The common use of picks to play also led to the development of a pick guard added below the sound hole on most models of the flat top guitar. After so much discussion, let's take a break to listen the original acoustic guitar. Now, I would like to introduce you all to the another cousin of guitar, commonly known as ukulele. While the ukulele is a uniquely Hawaiian instrument, its roots are in the Portuguese braguihna. It has 4 strings as compared to the guitar which has 6, and its chords are also a little bit different. The ukulele's popularity on the mainland waned after 1950s with the beginnings of rock and roll. Where before every child wanted to be a ukulele, now they wanted to be a guitarist. But the ukulele's easy playability and unique sound is helping it a comeback in the present. With ukulele songs by Jason Mars and Train to make it onto the top 40 radio stations. So make your brain ready to receive some beautiful and smooth signals of sound of the ukulele. Eventually, we are coming closer to the modern guitars. The creation of archtop guitar is usually credited to Orville Gibson. The violin-like sound holes or F-holes, arched top and back, and adjustable bridge were among the design features that gave archtop increased volume and tone. Gibson found that by constructing guitars with the bodies that were more like a cello, the bridge exerted no torque on the top of the instrument, which allowed it to vibrate freely and produce a louder sound. The guitars were soon adopted by jazz and country musicians and were later used by big bands and swing bands. The guitar was simply too quiet for many forms of modern music. This meant that by big band jazz era, the guitar was relegated to a second-tier instrument in many ensembles, and brass instruments and saxophones took on a more prominent position in the bands. Although many people tried to amplify guitar sound using attached microphones or telephone transmitters in the first 2 decades of 20th century, it was an electrical engineer named Adolf Rickenbacker, at the time the vice president of National Guitar Corporation in 1932, finally solved the puzzle. Rickenbacker had founded the Rickenbacker International Corporation with the sole intent of creating electric versions of musical instruments. This resulted in frying pan guitar becoming the first commercially viable amplified guitar. Hawaiian bands were the first to use the new guitars, but they quickly found their way to Western swing bands and jazz bands. Let's have a trip to sound of this instrument.
So hope you guys had fun. Please like, share and subscribe to this channel for more interesting audiobooks.